hates this so much.
I'm so happy that I don't do Christmas shopping and have to go around in the shops listening to this shit all the time.
So if I do...
Why did I agree to doing a live stream with you right before Christmas?
I don't know. Was Halloween better?
Slightly. At least it's scary noises.
What's up, JP? Aaron's on time. Holy cow. I just caught this. I only have a few minutes, but hello. Hello.
Oh.
Well, JP is apparently cramping bad, taking electrolytes, calcium, magnesium, zinc, all those things. His body hates them.
What's up with that?
I don't know. JP, if you're still in the chat, I know you were a bit early. What's up with that, dude? What you got going on? Holy Jesus. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Jamie's here. He's like, what is she doing? What is happening?
I was wondering what you were doing.
And you're less blonde.
I am less blonde. So I had a midlife crisis and decided I needed to do my hair.
Can you put your volume up just a little bit?
I can.
So since Jamie missed it, and I know Pim really loves when I do this. Sorry, Pim.
You're not
sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I can't believe you.
What's going on? What's going on, Jamie? So tell us about this midlife crisis. I'm intrigued. I recorded a video today. I just got back from a business lunch, my last event of the year. And as I was recording my reel, I noticed my gray hairs were sticking up. I saw like the whole top of my head. And as I was watching my video back, I was like, I need to dye my hair.
You know, dyeing is obviously bad. People will say, oh my gosh, it's toxins or whatever. And I was like, yeah, but my mindset is toxic right now. So I was like, all right, this dye is going to be like a form of self-care for me. So I don't mind it. It'll be, I'll go back to my old way here at some point. But for right now, I'm enjoying the change.
I'm on board with the dyeing. I know Pim's on board with the dyeing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And once you start dyeing your hair and then when it grows out, you see how much gray you have. It's, oh yeah, then you have to go back. It's bad now. It used to be I just had a few, and now she's like, oh no, it's all over. So, yeah, you got to dye those grays.
Yeah.
What's up, Susie? Nicole, where is Charlie Brown's Christmas tree? I don't know. You got to ask Charlie. It didn't come with my background.
He couldn't afford it this Christmas. Spent too much on petrol.
Merry Christmas, Michelle. Did you get my gift? It said it was delivered. Hey, Bruce, I'm not leaving you this time. I'll be here for the entire stream. You are welcome.
What, have you been known to run out of your streams?
A little bit.
Oh dear.
I'll be collaborating like Jonathan. I was like, all right, I gotta go. And then I got on my call, and then I got back, and Bruce just got in the chat. He's like, Nicole's always running away.
Perfect.
What's up, Sean? Sean says embrace the gray. This is coming from someone who, I mean, do you even have hair on your head?
Even just the guy doesn't count.
Right? Because I feel like men can get away with the gray a little bit better than women. Like my husband, I think he looks good with the gray scruff.
Oh yeah. Very
There's nothing wrong with a gray beard.
That's true. Right? I was doing the gray for a while, but then caved in and got highlights. Yeah. I've thought about the boulage, the Jamie knows. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. But then you're still not covering the top. Then you're only like in the bottom.
I don't know. I've only done it once now. I was in the chair for 4 hours. I was like, what the hell's taking so long?
Yeah, doing something half-assed takes twice as long, I've learned. So you want your hair to look like it's growing out in half done, plan to sit there a while.
Michelle, I'm so glad you got it. Yay. Yeah, let me know. Start January 1st. You and Renee can do it together. She promised. I sent her and Renee a copy of my emotional eating journal because they're struggling. So Renee promised, one of my subscribers promised she'll start January 1st, and Michelle just got hers. So hopefully they'll both start together. Way too young to be having a midlife crisis. I mean, are we though? Pim, I
No.
think's the oldest on the screen.
I don't
And
know.
I had gray hairs when I was like 17, so I'm
Okay,
used
no,
to it.
you gotta tell us, Pim, how old are you? 29.
I have to count.
She has to count. That's
I think I'm 46.
you know you're old if you can't remember.
I'm born 1977. You do the counting.
So I am the oldest on the screen. See, I
46. Oh no, Jamie. Okay, I'm 43, so I'm the young buck.
That's why it's so annoying.
yeah. I'm
What's
a
up,
7.
Ellie? I hate you, Pim. What's up, Jim? I don't think we have a TED, so we can't put you in timeout. I don't know what Pim does for punishments.
Oh, you want to know?
On that note, so we did have a topic of discussion that Pim came up with. I believe it's high fat versus high protein. I'm assuming this is in relation to low carb, carnivore, keto, whatever the heck you're doing. So Pim, what was your intention or thought process with this question? Have you had conversations lately that kind of sparked this?
Yeah, so I did this. I had 2 groups, the second one is just finishing now, where we've been doing intuitive keto, but with a focus on weight loss. So we've been doing a little bit of fat fasting, whatever they can do. And not half of them, but maybe like 35-40% of the people in there are very fixated on the protein, and I need to eat enough protein. And there's so much overeating of the protein that it's jacking up the blood sugar and preventing them from losing weight. So I thought it would be a good discussion to have that, some people do really well on protein. Some people should probably be on more protein, but it's not for everyone, and it's not for everyone at every freaking time.
Okay.
So that's where that came from. And you asked. So I thought,
did because I lead these streams, and it's kind of stressful to come up with stuff. So it's always good to have help of things to talk about. No, but I think this is a good topic because a lot of people struggle getting in a lot of fat. I think it goes both ways. But Jamie, you've been doing keto for way longer than me, so I know you're kind of, and I kind of stole your saying because I like it. Keto's your home. You can stray from home and always come back home. So I know you and I and Pim, to an extent, she's a little bit less carb than I am, kind of share pretty much a similar mindset when it comes to those sorts of things. So what do you think on high protein keto versus high fat keto? What are the pros and cons to both in your experience?
Well, first off, I see your point, Pim, and I actually I go the other direction more, so it'll be a nice conversation to have. And
Awesome.
it depends on the objective. Are you trying to build muscle? Are you, lifting weights 5 days a week, whatever? But I am a big fan of protein. I usually take people right to the ragged edge where they're getting enough in to build muscle, but it's not flipping them and pushing them out of ketosis. Minimum of 25%, bare minimum. But I do think that like carnivore makes it really hard, in my opinion, to get the fat in to be in ketosis. And that one's one that I think people struggle with a lot more because there is so much protein, right? So, they can eat steak and chicken thighs and at the end of the day not lose a single pound because they've had so much protein and their ratios are off. That one's a lot harder for people to get on lockdown. And it requires, I've had people who've just done straight spoonfuls of like grass-fed butter or, they eat pork rinds like they're going out of style, but they're trying really hard to get that fat in there or else it's not going to work. It's just all protein. Even myself, when I first started trying carnivore and playing with that, I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, I've literally eaten meat for a week straight and not lost a single pound. What is up?
That's where I'm at right now. It's like so many and I don't mean to interrupt, but I've had so many people in my comment section and on live streams, mostly women, yeah, struggling with weight loss. And I noticed that my weight loss has stalled recently because I was keto, and then I find myself it's so easy to gravitate more towards zero carb. Like next thing you know, you're like holy cow, like when did this happen? But I'm noticing that, yeah, my weight loss has stalled. So yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it's funny you say that because a lot of people have been struggling from what I've heard with this very thing.
Yeah. Well, and it's like I was saying, they need more fat for sure. So they just need to shift those macronutrients. And then I've also found that depending what their microbiome looks like, sometimes they won't lose weight right at the beginning just because, I mean, their biome is shifting. So it's like, you know, you got to give it that chance. It doesn't matter how much gut work I've done on myself, I will become homicidal for the first couple of days when I go into carnivore, and I'm like, okay. And you try to talk yourself through it. I'm like, okay, this is the microbiome shifting. You can do this. I'm like, no, I really want to kill my husband. No, you can do this. It's the microbiome. and it's hard, and you've got to kind of get over that. Just like there's a keto flu. For me, I found with carnivore, the hardest part is the mindset shift, almost like depression or anxiety going into it. Do you ever get that, Pam? Do you ever see that with anybody?
The very first time no, sorry, that's a lie. The second time I was like, I'm going to do carnivore, I'm going to do it properly. And I'm going to do it for 30 days. I think I lasted about 16 days. And the sun was shining. It was a beautiful day. And I was like, oh my God, I would really like die for this day. And I felt like I want to kill myself. This sucks. I don't see the point of living. So I went to the shop, I bought a kilo of blueberries, and I think I ate about half of them, and I felt a lot better. I'm just not gonna do it. This is not worth throwing away my life feeling like this.
Yeah.
I haven't had it since, but now I'm obviously not 100% anyway. So.
And normally it does pass, right? We've just got to get over the hump and know what's happening, and it'll be good. But then again, it goes back also to we're all unique. We're all snowflakes, which on the screen.
Yeah.
And some people just don't do well, just like some people don't do well with water fasting or bone broth fasting or whatnot. So it just may not have worked for you, no matter how much in your head you knew what was happening.
Oh yeah.
So do you find it easier to because I know I've only been carnivore, like meaning zero carb carnivore, for a brief stint, and then I reintroduced carbs back in. So you both have more experience with the zero carb life than me. I only did it for a few months. So do you find that do you feel better zero carb in your personal experience, or do you feel better adding a little bit of carb in? And if you do feel better adding carb in, why do you think that is? Pim, since you shook your head, we can start with you, and we do have a couple questions that I like to tackle based off what Jamie said. So Pim, what do you got?
Well, you know that I tried to do 3 months carnivore, like almost over a year ago. Was it 3 months? I'm getting confused now. I think it was 3 months. Anyhow, yeah, because I spent the last 6 weeks, like half of it with headaches and migraines, and it doesn't work for me, obviously. And there is no getting over the hump. I mean, yeah, maybe if I'm prepared to have headaches and migraines much longer and fatigue. And I think I pushed it long enough because it took me months to get back to where I was before. So, I mean, I obviously been thinking about why that didn't work for me a lot, and I don't have a good answer. I've just been thinking about that. Is it the microbiome? Is it like, do I release toxins? Is it something because of the fatigue as well? Is there something like wrong with my mitochondria that they can't produce enough energy from just eating a lot of meat and fat? And it doesn't matter if I'm eating high fat or high protein, it seems to be the same problem. And if it is the mitochondria, can I heal that somehow and just get more energy? And would that energy prevent headaches? Like, I have no idea. Other people might say, yeah, you just need to eat more salt. you have no idea how much salt I'm eating. Like, I'm a saltomaniac, so that's not what it is. I'm having a lot of electrolytes, so that's not what is causing the headaches. So I don't know. I just can't tell you what it is because I don't have an answer. All I know is that I can eat 0 carb for a week, maybe at most 2 weeks before I start getting it. And what really helps is to eat 40, 50 grams of carbs, then I'm good. I'm good to go. And the headache's gone, it doesn't come back, and I'm good. And I don't even need to eat carbs every day.
Yeah, I have an interesting follow-on, and I think Pim probably knows where I'm going to go with this.
No, not yet.
Okay, well, what's based off our previous conversations,
Mhm.
based off my own experiment that we talked about
Okay.
before. But
Yeah.
I'm curious what Jamie's take on this is, and then this will lead into Ellie's question. So what do you think, Jamie?
I'm with her. I'm not totally sure. I like the thought process of it being the mitochondria. A lot of people with mitochondrial damage do struggle and need more carbohydrates. But then again, you know, when we get into ketosis or we start intermittent fasting, it's supposed to fix the mitochondria, right? We go into mitophagy. So it's like, again, how long do you struggle over that hump before you can say it's not getting better? So for you to have done it that long and not see change, and you weren't getting the energy, the endurance, right? You didn't flip that switch. And so even if it is mitochondria at that point, I'm just like, you need the carbs. Just make sure they're good carbs. And I'm with you on that. You know, being carnivore or being keto, and of course there are so many aspects of my life that are great, and I have more energy, and I do all, like, brain clarity energy. And there's a lot of positive, but a lot of deficit at the gym. And I thought it was just me. I'm like, holy shit, how does people I can't keep up. And you know, I was thin and I just couldn't keep up, and I wasn't making any gains at the gym. Even if I went and like lifted as heavy as I could 5 days a week, I wasn't seeing anything. Let me tell you, bringing the carbs in and up in the protein, there is some truth to that. So and again, it goes back to the bio individual, and also like what your objective is. Obviously your goal in life is not to have a headache every day of your life, right?
Mhm.
You want energy, you want to feel better, you don't want to kill yourself when you go out on a beautiful day. So it just wasn't working for you. But I do like the thought of the mitochondrial damage. And you know, one of the things that really does damage the mitochondria a lot when you see somebody like that is mold exposure. So then it makes you wonder, okay, do you have some type of mycotoxin exposure that you need to get out of your system? You're not methylating well enough, and you need to work on that. And then perhaps, you know, as your mitochondria get a little bit better, could you try carnivore again? I don't know. I mean, even fasting. I have a coach that I know very, very well that is fasting right now, and she literally doesn't plan it. Just, she could be talking to you, and you could say something about how you're going to fast tomorrow, and she'll be like, "Oh, cool, I'll start that right now." And she just, I kid you not, she's on day 10, I think, of water fasting right now.
Ooh,
And she,
wait, how many days? Did you just say 10?
and she doesn't prepare. She just goes in, and she's not hungry. She just flips. And me, if you tell me I'm not getting breakfast, I will focus on the fact that I'm not getting breakfast. Any other day, I get busy through the day and I don't eat. But if you tell me I don't get any food all day long, I'm gonna be like, I'm so hungry. I hate myself.
I bite my husband's head off. Like,
Yeah.
he would probably have to lock me in a separate room.
But then again, it does go back to, like, she doesn't have a thyroid issue, right? And when you have a thyroid issue, you shouldn't do extended fasting. So she's doing great, where somebody like me who has hypothyroid, the more suppressing of the thyroid I do, the more depression I'm going to get, the more sluggish I'm going to feel, you know, and so it's just different for everybody.
So I have a follow-on question as well, but Ellie says she's down 30 pounds in 7 months, but weight loss stalled a lot the last 4 months. Here, sister. I lost like 2 pounds each month since then, but I also lose inches. So I think this is based off what you were talking about with protein fat ratios. So what do you think might be causing the stall? For me, well, I'll get into me, but Jamie, what do you think is causing the stall? Because I think she sent that comment right after your initial talk.
Oh, 2 things off the top of my head is, one, she needs to mix things up. right? With a lack of variation comes aging. So her body's figuring her out, right? And she really needs to start varying some stuff up, whether that's her eating windows, her macronutrients 1 or 2 days a week, and kind of confuse the body. I call it metabolic manipulation. The second thing is, a lot of people, when you first start keto, you lose a lot of weight because your body's like, what the fuck did you just do? It's, it's confused. It's starting to burn on ketones. You feel great. But then we get stuck where we start eating more fat than we need. Even in a ketogenic diet, you have to have a deficit in your fat so that the body pulls fat from the body, right? So if you're eating a diet that's the exact amount of calories and fat percentage that you need to maintain, you're not going to lose weight and you're not going to gain weight. And I struggled with that for a while too. I was like, I do everything right, and I'm keto, and I've been keto for this amount of time, and the needle never moved. Like, my goal was I just have to maintain, because if I eat the slightest, if I lick a cracker, I'm going to gain weight, kind of thing, right? But in reality, I wasn't putting myself in just enough fat deficit for it to pull from me either.
Yeah, that's what I'm messing with now. I lost weight, so I've lost a total about 65, 70 pounds. So I'm not scoffing at that, but I have probably about 15, 20 to go. Like, I'm not to my goal yet. I still have like a little bit more to go, and I've been stalled for months. It's been so frustrating. So what I'm messing with now is like cutting, because I've been struggling with sleep lately too. So I'm kind of messing with my meal timing. So tonight I'm going to try to cut my meal off by 6. To see if that helps me fall asleep a little easier. But yeah, I'm messing with my macros now. Kind of what Jamie was saying. I'm messing with my macros now. I'm also messing with my meal timing to see if that helps. Because if you're not sleeping well, obviously that's going to impede your loss. If you're stressed, it's going to impede your loss. So I know it's not just diet for me. I think it's a diet plus the lack of sleep, and then the stress from the lack of sleep and all that. So yeah, it's not just diet. I mean, diet's huge, but look at your overall lifestyle too. So if you're not sleeping well, or if you're waking up constantly in the middle of the night, so you're not getting enough deep sleep and things like that, that can stall you too. So I would look at your diet, but overall lifestyle as well. That's what I'm currently focusing on. Sean says, introduce 300 grams of sugar. That'll help with the stall. He's kidding. That's on all Saladino.
Good advice. Can I just be a bit of an asshole?
You don't have to ask. Just do it.
Even if you're only losing 2 pounds per month, you're still losing. That's not a true stall. It's just that it's very slow. So I would want to know, like, how much more weight do you actually have to lose? It might be that this person, whoever it was, I can't remember who it was, is really close to her goal. In which case, 2 pounds per month, I mean, it might seem slow to you, but you're still going in the right direction, and your body's just adjusting to what you're doing. So maybe you don't need to change anything.
Yeah.
Good point.
She also said, I also wonder how I'll feel later when I add some carb back in. Excited about this convo. Yeah, a lot of people go carnivore. I was one of them, to heal initially, right? It's the ultimate elimination diet, but most people can't stick with 0 carb and eating, super strict hyper carnivore for the rest of their lives. So most people do start introducing things back in. So the question I have for the panel, and I've been doing a lot of digging and research into this, and there's very, very, very conflicting information online about women's hormones specifically, because I'm on the cusp of perimenopause. I don't think I'm full blown, but menstrual cycle erratic, like things are starting to happen. And the way I've been feeling, lack of energy, brain fog, struggle sleeping, like all sorts of things have been going on the last few months. I've been just doing research on women's hormones, menopause, carbs, with progesterone, leptin signaling, thyroid, all these things. And what I've read, and Dr. Minnie Pelz, I don't know, Jamie, okay, so you are familiar. Okay. So we missed you, Jamie. So Dr. Minnie Pelz, she put out a video. She does a lot about fasting, which I don't agree with long-term fasting, so I disagree with her on some aspects, but she does do a lot of women's hormones. So I listened to her video on carb cycling around your cycle. So that piqued my curiosity. So then I started doing some digging, consulted Dr. Google, Dr. DuckDuckGo, all the things to see if my search results changed. And what I've read and what I've surmised so far is that during the beginning, the first 2 weeks of your cycle, your progesterone, like your hormones tank essentially, and introducing some carb, and this has to do with leptin signaling and all that stuff as well. All these things play a role. And what I've read and what Dr. Minnie Pelz has mentioned is introducing some carb may produce more of a leptin signaling, which will bring your progesterone out of the dumpster. It'll bring your hormones out, elevate them a bit more than increasing your protein for the glucose and all that other stuff. So I started messing with my carbs. I was in ketosis earlier this week. I was fairly high, so apparently I didn't introduce enough carbs. But I have been messing with my carbs, and I have noticed for me that I feel better when I'm not on a high level of ketosis, when I do introduce some carb in. So I'm curious, Jamie, because Pim kind of answered this question. What are your thoughts on that? And in your experience, do you find that makes sense?
Absolutely. And I love Mindy. Actually, I've been to several work events where she was at, and we've gotten to talk. And
You talked to Dr. Mindy?
She's awesome. Yeah.
See? That's why we love Jamie.
With Bendazi. But she used to be big into long-term fasting, and then she switched it when she tanked her own stuff and really went around her cycle. But and it's what I do actually in my keto program is you have to go around your cycle. And so it's important, like you said, you bring in those good carbs to support, the progesterone production and all that right before you ovulate. And then again, right before your cycle. The one thing I do that I kind of added on, and this is just my take of what I think works that Mindy doesn't do, is I think the best time to do carnivore though, and really just bring in those iron-rich foods is why you actually are menstruating. And so the moment your cycle starts, I'm like, do carnivore those days. And then when your cycle stops, go into keto. And then, bring those carbs in, good carbs, not don't go and eat pizza and beer, but like, sweet potato and have those before your cycle and then before you ovulate. And I found that's really good for helping that hormone balance. And also because you're constantly varying your diet, I've seen less stalls. I mean, yeah, it's scary when you first bring your carbs in and you dump 2 or 3 pounds in a day. But as soon as you go back into keto, not only does that come off, but people have lost anywhere from, 5 to 8 pounds within 2 days because it's the variation. I mean, I love it.
So yeah,
Jamie,
no,
can I bug you for a bit? So I get really hungry like the day before my period, and that lasts for probably another 3 days to some degree. Everyone says that if you're supposed to be doing fasting, that should be after your period starts and blah, blah, blah. I cannot do fasting at that time. I'm so hungry. Like, that's the wrong time for me to do fasting. I just want to eat. And if I was ever going to want to eat carbs, that's at the beginning of my period. That's kind of when doing carnivore would be the least, like strict carnivore would be the least tempting for me. Like, what do you think is going on with my hormones there?
I hear that a lot. And you know why it's doing that is you're so depleted at that point that it's screaming for those carbs. But if you had them, 3, 4, 5 days prior to your cycle, you would have had a different outcome, right? I mean, obviously we're more ravenously hungry. So the word I like to use, I mean, I could eat somebody's arm off sometimes when you're getting ready to cycle. But again, that's the best time to bring in all those steaks and things like that. I think if you had just prepared, like if you're regular enough, which if you are at your age, yeah, you, because I'm not, but if you're regular enough to know when it's coming and you can try that, bring in those.
I just have to count. I'm very lazy.
Well, pay attention to it because you'll notice that you're going to regulate better. Your cycle will not be as painful. Like when we have all those cramping and all that kind of stuff too, that also goes back to the imbalance. And
yeah, that's the thing that I haven't needed a painkiller in once in 2 years, I think.
Okay.
So almost all the pain has gone with the diet I'm having, but still it seems to be like everything that is described, it seems like I'm just delayed with the hunger, with all of the responses that I'm supposed to have.
Well, that's natural. Like craving carbs, like mostly all women crave specifically carbs around their cycle, and that's because of our hormones are tanking, especially in the first 2 weeks. What I've also learned, and I know I know Pim's other half likes to say insulin resistance is a construct and all that, but because that's the word floating around, I'm going to say that because
Sure.
that's what people are saying, and I don't know any other way to say this. But the first 2 weeks of your cycle, like carb cycling around your cycle, is where you will benefit most from the carbs, because it does help get your hormones, specifically your sex hormones, out of the shitter. But during your last 2 weeks of your cycle, you may find that if you have carbs, you're more likely to gain weight because you're more insulin resistant during that time. So that's why I agree with Jamie saying that's the best time to go carnivore, because it's easier to put on weight during the last 2 weeks of your cycle because of your insulin. So if you're eating carb or more carb than usual during that time, you may find that you feel worse and you may be a little heavier. Yeah, it'll come off after, but you are more insulin resistant, for lack of better terms, for your final 2 weeks of your cycle. So if you are going to carb cycle leading up to your menstruation, and then bring your carbs back down, to alleviate your symptoms, to optimize your hormonal balance, but also to ensure that you're maximizing fat loss as well.
Mhm.
I have another question, if I may. I'm just going to hog this whole stream. So this was
Screw you, chat.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
this was not on purpose. It was just like, okay, I did a 3-day fat fast. So I ate maybe 800 calories or whatever for 3 days, coming from fat. Or
Total?
maybe not. Sorry?
Total?
Yeah,
Or
so
100
8 to 900, and maybe 15, 20 grams of protein. So what happened was that I didn't have even a tinge, like I didn't feel anything when my period started. It was like a big surprise. Like I needed all that fat. So what's going on there? I didn't eat any carbs, ate a lot of fat, and it was like a non-event at all. It's very rarely that. Usually I can feel when it's starting, and nope. What happened
Yeah,
there?
but this was the couple of days right before it, right?
Yeah, exactly 3 days before, and then
Truthfully, I would lead to, until you do that again and show me that it worked a second time, that's more coincidence, because it's not like you can change things in 2 days right before your cycle starts. Like you've been working up with this hormone imbalance, magnesium deficiency, whatever you have, right, for the last 20 some days, and then all of a sudden bringing in fat for 2 days. Suddenly, yeah, no, I don't buy it.
Okay, I don't buy it. Okay, fair enough.
I need you to do that again. Let's replicate it.
Oh, but then I need to actually time it on purpose, and then I'm gonna fail probably.
If you're doing what we call partial fast, right? And the reason I asked is for somebody to, eat 500 to 800 calories one day, keep their protein under 20 grams in one day. That's called a partial fast. Now you're saying you did it. That's a total for your 3 days.
No, I did. It was about roughly the same sort of macros for 3 days.
Okay, so you were doing a partial fast. At that point, if you had continued that long term, for example, you wouldn't have had a period. Your body would have been malnourished and gone into starvation mode. But again, it had a cycle, because you can't count that right beforehand. It was like, we had all this in progress for weeks.
Yeah.
So
I was very hungry after that. And for once in my freaking life, I craved protein. I even have 2 steaks for dinner the day after. And that's unusual. Now I'm gonna stop bothering you with all my weird questions.
Isn't it funny? And we're already going with so many. I'm sure all the guys have jumped off, but
we still got some.
Wild to me is, if you're really intuitive, I crave meat, especially meat on a bone, right? And then just out of the blue, one day I'll be like, I can't look at that. If I even smell it, I'm going to be sick. I'm not, not pregnancy. It's just, and I have to go, okay, my body doesn't want that today. And the next day I'm like, oh my gosh, where's that bone? I'm just going to chew. And it's just wild. Your body knows what it wants. It just,
yeah.
I'm picturing Jamie in a corner just chewing on a bone, like
I do. When at my gym, we went around the room at one point. There was a whole bunch of new members at my gym, and so the guy was like, "All right, I'm going to make you all uncomfortable. Everybody go around and tell something you don't know about yourself or whatever."
Jamie's like, I eat bones.
I did. Some big bulky man goes, I can't eat meat off a bone. That's gross. And literally, I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I just want a bone. I don't want it. It's. I'm like, don't ever go on a date and tell a woman that, please. My son's 17, and he won't. He still has to pick it off the bone, and I'm like, don't ever order any kind of meat that you think is going to come on a bone if you go on a date then, because I can tell you right now, I would not go out with you again. There's the definition of the guy who also won't kill the spider in the corner. All right, eat off the bone. So, there you go.
Motherly advice.
Yeah, we know
Good.
what Jamie's passionate about.
Yeah. You need to be like a real caveman to show interest.
It's what your body's craving, and truly it is. I mean, I'll get up and have chicken thighs just for breakfast sometimes after the gym. I'm like, I need meat on a bun. Seriously, you don't eat eggs or anything? I'm like, nope, need chicken thighs.
Weird.
I know.
So I'll go through a couple of the comments here. Ellie says she eats carnivore, but I don't think I'm zero carb. I eat cheese, not every day, mind you. So she's pretty much zero carb.
Yeah, we don't count that kind of stuff because cheese is life.
Yeah. Susie, personally, her gym performance continues to improve. I don't do OMAD as frequently as I used to. Me neither, Susie.
Oh, good for you then. That's awesome.
Do you do OMAD, Jamie?
No, I did for a while. And then I found that it actually, again, it was messing up my performance at the gym. So then I started to do a lot of research about, how soon should you be having protein after the gym? And then I was like, okay, in order to do OMAD though, I have to go hungry from 10 o'clock in the morning to the next day. And that's not going to happen. So
yeah,
not making dinner for my family and then not eating it. I'd go back to your homicidal thing if I had to do that. So it did not work for me. And actually, when you talk about cycling carbs, something that I've been toying with is backloading. So carnivore or keto all the time, unless I go to the gym. And then when I get home from the gym, having some sweet potato and some good carbs at that point in time. Because a lot of times if you do a hard workout anyway, like a CrossFit workout, your body will pull you out of ketosis. Mm-hmm. So it's just natural from the stress. Yeah. So having the carbs then fill your glycogen stores and then going into ketosis the remainder of the day. And I'm enjoying that too, honestly.
Oh, that's an interesting perspective. That it makes sense. I've never thought of it like that though, but it makes complete sense that would happen.
Yeah, it's working for me right now. But again, I'm so sporadic that trying to time carbs around my cycle is not working for me. I'm kind of on the way out of that stage of life. So doing it around the gym has helped me a lot.
Way to rub it in. Yeah. Welcome back, Jamie.
No,
I'm out of that stage.
No, because with it comes the weight gain. We can't wait to get rid of our periods, but one day you wake up and you've got this little lower beer belly and the doctor's like, oh yeah, that's menopause. And you're like, I'm sorry, what?
The menopause baby.
I had the doctor tell me, she's like, welcome to the family. She said, you will never get rid of that again. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I didn't have to start with after 3 children, but seriously, I'm like,
Erin says, I forget to eat lots of days and I'm not doing intermittent fasting anymore. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of fasting. I think standard intermittent fasting, I think most people just skip breakfast or whatever, but as long as you're still meeting your nutritional requirements in that day, that's fine. But long term, days, yeah, I can't get down with that.
You don't eat less, you eat less often. That's the point. So you're supposed to have bigger meals and just eat less of them. And that way your body can actually, when it's not assimilating food, go into its restorative processes, right? And clean house, but yet you're still getting all the calories and the nutrients that you need. But it is hard, because if you're somebody who does OMAD or even 2MAD, I know I personally can't eat 800 to 1,000 calories in a sitting. There's no way. And so you, without realizing, a lot of times do not get your calories in to sustain you long-term for health.
Yeah. Or you meet them and then you're running to the bathroom because you kind of overdid it on the fat. That may or may not have happened to me earlier this week. Ask Erin. It was pretty bad. I was like, oh shit, I think I ate too much fat today, and it was not.
You flushed.
Nope. Yep. Hold on. It
Oh,
was.
no. Okay.
Add some creatine to that and watch what happens.
Oh dear.
Challenge accepted. Now I'm curious.
I love creatine, but when you first start it, some people do have a flushing effect from it. So creatine and a spoonful of bacon fat or something, and then you give us a call.
Okay. I'll try that. It's okay.
She'll be like, all
Challenges.
right, I fixed my plateau. I'm down another 5 pounds.
Nice.
My poop, baby.
Yeah.
Susie says my appetite is on
Hang
the low
on. I
side
didn't
too.
get to speak. I want to say something.
Oh, you've been speaking the
I
entire
have not
time.
been speaking. Come
Go-
on.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I
Miss
almost forgot
Pim.
what I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say with OMAD versus like 2MAD or whatever, it's also really, I mean, if you're worried about the protein and you want to actually eat more protein, just eating all of that protein in one go is not gonna help you absorb more of it. So it's probably better that you eat several times per day if you want to have better protein metabolism or
Yes.
building muscle.
Yep, no, you're exactly
That was
right.
all. Now we can zip.
No.
And you know what's interesting though? What I found, like I tell people to do steak days all the time. Like if they're trying to lose weight and they're in keto or carnivore or whatever and they plateau, don't eat all day and then eat the biggest steak you can. You know, like, and just and I have found that works even for me with like ground beef. If I have the biggest hamburger patty even I can, like just it's something about the red meat. I'll lose weight. It breaks that plateau. But any other type of protein like you're talking about, it just doesn't seem to work the same way. I wonder
It's
if it's
very interesting. Yeah, I almost only eat red meat. I don't like chicken that much. I definitely don't like fish, so it's mostly beef.
Yeah,
I won't
I'm the
I take
same.
breakfast when I'm having chicken thighs then.
I don't mind the bone, but I actually ate lamb chops off the bone yesterday. Does that count?
It does count. It
Yeah, it
does.
has a
Yeah.
bone. Jamie likes the bone.
I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know,
You're
like
a real woman, Pim.
I'll try to eat
Yeah.
dinner out of a bone, and my husband's so grossed out. He's like, seriously, I'm never ever gonna kiss you again. Can you stop that? I'm like, it's so good.
How did you two end up together? Did you
My
not do the bone check?
Through
It
work.
wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in the standard American diet back then. I think our
Alright.
first date was at a Red Lobster, of all
So,
places, and then Cracker Barrel and all those bad places.
fair enough.
So Susie says, my appetite is on the low side too. Sometimes I feel my head get tight when I need to eat rather than having tummy rumbles. Yeah, I get I guess I don't want to say lightheaded, but yeah, I feel it in my head too when I'm not paying attention and I wait too long to eat. I'm like, oh crap, I need to eat something.
But what does the head tight mean? Like getting a headache?
I'm assuming she means headache. Like you can feel it, like you feel weird. Like I don't know how to describe it for me. Like kind of like not lightheaded, but kind of if I don't eat something, I will likely get lightheaded. So I don't know if that's what she's talking about or a headache. Yeah,
I would
Susie, are
describe
you
it
talking
as-
a headache?
Who were you talking to?
I'm asking Susie if she was talking about a headache. She can clarify.
I get like it's not it's like I always say, like I can feel a headache coming on, like I feel like it's brewing. That's how I interpret that.
Okay.
Yeah, she said weird and kind of lightheaded. Yeah, that's kind of what I experience. Not often because I'm very I do like to eat. So I'm not want to go too long beyond my hunger. But yeah, if I'm in the middle of something or not paying attention and I do happen to go too long, yeah, it's weird and kind of lightheaded is what Susie described. DJ Smokey, I'm assuming this is from your channel, Pim, because he said hi, love. Unless you're calling me love, DJ. Are you calling me love?
I'm gonna go have to check. Do I have any secret loves?
I love the show, but can you please set the record straight and clarify your position on Gaza? Who? Is that politics?
Yeah.
Okay, nope. Okay. Pim, type 2 diabetic here. I've been mostly carnivore for over 3 years, but still can't get my A1C under 5.1. What do you say, Pim?
Oh, well, what's your blood sugar like? How much, like, how do you respond to different macros that you're eating? Like, do you overproduce sugar from the protein that you're eating? Is that a problem? I mean, I would like to know so many things before I could tell you anything about why that might be. 5.1 isn't terrible. And if you are carnivore, I think there are a lot of healthy carnivores that are getting up towards that number as well, to be honest. So maybe it's not as bad as you think.
Yeah,
Sorry for being
for me,
vague. But
that's a healthy range. Under 5.1, that's I guess classified normal. That's a healthy range. But yeah, I would have the same questions as Pim. What do you think, Jamie?
I want to know where he started. I mean,
yeah,
he could have great gains. So, and we maybe just need more time too. Penny.
yeah, and you might want to look into Dr. Boss. Is really good at that sort of stuff as well. But she's very much keto, high fat stuff. But if this is actually a real problem for you, like if your baseline blood sugar is constantly elevated, then maybe that's what you need to do for a while to get a hold of that.
I think a large portion of the population is insulin resistant at this point.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's standard.
What's up, Renee? Renee's here. Thanks, Renee. You're you're quasi on time. You got here at 2:37. Close enough. I'll give it to you.
How's your maths?
We started at 2. Well, Renee's usually here. Like she's very late usually.
So if I'm always late, being just like a little bit late is like on time.
You have your degree of lateness. it's on a curve.
Roger, I'm gonna start being late just so that I have a little bit more leeway then.
You get backstage like 40 seconds before I push the button.
Yeah, couldn't find the link to join. I was like looking through my emails. I was like, it's not there. It must be on Instagram. And then I checked my Instagram chat with you and I couldn't find it. I was like, oh yeah, she invited Jamie as well. That's probably there. And then I found it. It's all over the place. You have to be consistent, wifey.
I am. We've been talking on IG. When was the last time we talked on email, wifey?
Mm-hmm.
So Ellie says, that's not being an ass. That's a good start. I wonder what that's in reference to.
Because Tim said, I don't mean to be an ass, but where did you start with your weight? Because in that plateau, losing 2 pounds was not a plateau.
Oh, thank you. I was like, what is happening? My highest weight was 240 pounds. I lost 53 pounds in 6 months, then had my babies, and years went by, 202. And 7 months later, I'm 170, 5'8", and I'm close to my goal of 160. So this is back to the 2 pounds in a month and weight loss stall.
Yeah. So if you have 10 pounds to go, to 2 pounds per month, I think is pretty good without you actually having to do any like major intervention like fasting or whatever you might try. Mm-hmm. So if you can eat the way that you eat and continue losing 2 pounds per month, I think you're good.
Yeah.
And whether 160 is where your body think you're going to end or not is a different issue. But I would just like go with it and not try to force it necessarily.
Yeah.
All right. See you later, JP. Thanks for hanging with the ladies.
Bye.
What's up, Mama Cracker? She calls me Smurf because of my one background that was like a Hobbit house. RV, there yet? What's going on? Long time no see. Quite a bit different for us post-meno women. A bit more fine-tuning via self-science, trial and error. Took me 2 years to get a grasp on that, and it's ever-changing as time goes on. Preach.
Yeah. Well, Mindy says you don't need to worry about cycling the carbs if you're postmenopausal when you're only focusing on hormone balance. But I still think there's a place for carbs to come in for more than just hormone balance.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I do too. I just feel better with, I'm probably on average, probably 10 grams, definitely under 20 on average. But when I start feeling like lethargic and super crummy again, that's when I'll increase my carbs. And it does, for me, it does help me feel better. So I don't know if it's a hormonal thing like the leptin progesterone thing or what's going on, but I just know for me, adding in a little bit of carb does help me kind of recover and feel like myself. Let's see. Renee says, just finished cooking 15 pounds of bacon on the griddle. Holy cow, what time's dinner? Jamie needs dinner. She's over there yawning.
There's no belly in that.
She needs more fat.
Are you having like a party, or are you going to eat 15 pounds of bacon yourself? Is my
Can you
question.
imagine? Like, what does 15 pounds of bacon even look like? I'm trying to picture it.
It's heavy as fuck.
What's up, Becky? My A1C is 5.2 and I had diabetes removed from my chart. Hell yeah. That's amazing.
Good
Yeah.
job.
So that's going back to I think Arwen was the person. Yeah, to me that A1C seemed normal and seemed fine. So I'm not sure if that person's been to the doctors yet and had it checked recently or what's going on there. Becky says, Ellie says, thanks for the advice. And Becky says, enjoying the conversation. I wonder if carb cycling would help after being 15 years in surgically induced menopause. So what do you think? I think Mindy, yeah, since you follow Mindy more closely than me, Jamie, what do you think about that?
I think it depends what symptoms she's looking to relieve or how she's feeling currently, being that she's been, did she say keto or carnivore for a long time?
She's like ketovore. She's like 10 grams or less. And she also struggled with what I struggled with the emotional eating and, you know, binge eating tendencies like the sugary. Didn't do well with the sugar.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a little tougher situation because of that. Yeah.
That emotional eating, right? You know, maybe even if you just try upping your carbs overall, you know, and see how high you can get them without knocking yourself out of ketosis. That's what I would do, because then it's a normal everyday thing and you're not having that mindset of, oh, if I'm good, I get to go binge on this day or any of those kind of mind fucks that come along with the cycling. But it's good.
I'm sorry, can we just appreciate the mind fuck? I'm sorry, okay. Carry on. We missed you.
I'm the only one who
Jamie.
hasn't said the F word today. Just want to point that out.
Thank you, Pam. We don't need you to say the F word. We got Jamie here who apparently is filling in for the both of us.
I'm
Thank you.
looking up for it. So my family, my son's a potty mouth and it's embarrassing. So my husband, who also is a very bad potty mouth, worse than me. Okay. Both of them. And so we came up with a deal that we have to put a quarter in the jar for every cuss word. And then after a week, it goes to 50 cents. And after a week, it goes to $1 for every bad word. But I said if I was on a work meeting, it didn't count. So I'm kind of getting all
So you're getting it all out?
Yeah. I don't have any money in the jar yet. I'm doing good.
Okay, so sorry. Carry on with your. I just heard I couldn't get over mindfuck, so I'm good now. I'm good.
Yeah. But just overall, getting in the habit of having a little bit of sweet potato or more starchy vegetables and just seeing how you feel. It's amazing when you've been in ketosis for a long time, how high you can bring those carbs up and stay in fat burning mode. And then you may feel better. I do best when I'm around 12% carbs, which a lot of people get knocked out of ketosis in, and I don't. So worth a try.
I tested my I just started testing my ketones, and I got the P strips because I couldn't find, that's the only they had at CVS. I didn't have any other variety, and I've never tested before. I was just curious because I do eat carb. I was like, let me just see where I'm at because my symptoms tell me I might be in ketosis, but I'm not sure. And I was moderate. I was about 40. So I'm like, huh. And I was not surprised I was in ketosis. I was surprised at how high of a level I was. So yeah, so you can definitely eat carb and still be a fat burner and still be in ketosis. So I'm kind of messing with that now. I'm kind of testing to see what my levels are. and I want to be on the lower level of ketosis. Just personally, that's where I feel good. But that's what I'm testing now. So I'm testing every day, and I'm trying to see what my carb kind of like threshold is. But yeah, I just thought that was very interesting. Is yeah, you can eat a good. I don't eat a ton of carb, but you can eat some carb and still be in a high level of ketosis. Like I said, I was a high level of ketosis, and I eat carbs.
Absolutely. And when you're testing with your urine, that will the level of ketones that you're peeing out will actually go down even if you stay in ketosis over time.
Yeah.
In comparison to the blood. So if your level goes down, don't think you did something wrong. You'll just stop flushing out as many.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It's been traced the last day and a half, but I was like moderate, like 40, and nothing's changed. So I'm probably going to go on Amazon after the holidays because we're leaving Sunday, and I'm going to get the blood test, and I'm just going to compare. But yeah, they didn't have that at CVS. They only had that one option. So I was like, well, let me just see what it is. And yeah, but I do want to test to see what the highest, like I don't want to go above 50 ever carb. I just feel great where I'm at, but I just want to test to see where that carb threshold is base, and then my level of ketosis, and kind of just like do that experiment because I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, when I've been in ketosis for a long time, like the P ones won't even register me. But I have a Keto Mojo, and I recommend that one. That's great because then you
Keto
can
Mojo.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll try that on Amazon.
Yeah.
So we do have a question from Susie. What clean carb foods do you like to add in when carb cycling? Pim, what carbs do you add in?
Mostly rice, to be honest. Whether you want to call them clean or not is a different story. There's a lot of, the arsenic and all of that shit. The thing with, I like sweet potatoes, but my blood sugar is just going through the roof. So rice is treating my blood sugar a lot better. But any sort of unprocessed starchy foods could probably be called clean, I suppose. It was a term that Jamie was using, so maybe she should be answering this one.
Yeah. Well, I'll go and then we'll end with Jamie. So for me, I stick with predominantly avocado berries are like my staple pretty much every day. But when I do cycle, I have reintroduced bananas, so I'll just have half a banana. That's just a personal choice. I just don't want all that sugar, so I'll just do a half a banana or a half a sweet potato. Sometimes I'll do the whole sweet potato depending on what I've eaten that day. And I also, similar to Pim, I don't know that you would necessarily call this clean, but I did find glyphosate-free oats, which are pretty much almost half the carb as regular like quick oats and all that other crap. So I do have that maybe twice a week, and I just add protein powder, so protein oats with some berries. So those are the carbs I add in, and I'm still in ketosis with those carbs.
Speaking of bananas, I've tried that one, and I obviously wanted the bananas to be on the greener side, so that it's more starch. Oh my god, if you don't want gas, don't do that. That's all I'm saying. So no bananas for me.
But yeah, it's I'm trying to think what else. I think that's pretty much all I've added, and I do have Greek yogurt and all that stuff, but that's, I don't know how many carbs are in there, but yeah, so that's pretty much what I stick to. And eating those carbs, I don't eat all those carbs in one day. I obviously it's like 2 here and there, but I'm still in ketosis eating those carb sources. So what do you eat, Jamie? I know we're similar in the berries and avocado, I think.
Yeah, we are. And for you, even the backloading would work well for you because you'd stay in ketosis. But similar, I don't do well with grains. But I'm human. I used to be so strict about if I was going to have carbs, it was sweet potato and starchy vegetables and like all these anti-inflammatory foods. And then again, going back to the MF word, you get to a point, it's hard. It is. And so then I'm like, you know what, if I went out with my family and it's a carb day, can I have gluten-free pizza, which I'm sure has race flour and all that kind of stuff in it. And I do, but for the most part, it is sweet potato, starchy vegetables, and I just got into what they call them, pro oats. You don't have time to say protein now at this point in life, so we have to. But same thing, by the time you get in there, some really good sugar-free yogurt, and you have your, I don't know if you say chai or chia, however everybody calls them differently, the seeds, and then you've got, I'll put in there protein powder and stuff like that. And I think that helps to kind of, and then you bring some good fat into it. It really does help with to bring the glycemic spike from the oats down. And I've done okay. My belly's not quite sure about them, but they're good.
Yeah. Susie said, Jamie, this is work call.
It is.
Let the curse words out.
One more time.
Okay, so we do have another question from Michelle. What are symptoms of ketosis? I did do a video on this, so check out my channel. Quick plug. I did do just like 5. There's more than this, but 5 signs that you're in ketosis without tracking. But things with dry mouth, bad breath, fatigue, sleep issues, bowel movements, change in bowel movements, muscle spasm or cramps even, things like that. But Jamie, what are some other symptoms that you may be in ketosis without tracking?
You got the good ones there. That's not fair.
You're welcome.
I think brain clarity, improved performance. Like I'm on point. When I'm in ketosis, there's no like struggling for a word. Like I'm on it. And people are like, how's your brain moving that fast in meetings? So if I have a big event going on at work, I make sure that I'm in hardcore, like deep ketosis, getting up to it so that I don't do what I'm, lose my words like I'm doing right now. Where other times, like if I'm eating too many carbs, I feel like I get brain fog. So that's a big one for me. All of a sudden my husband's like, will you just chill and sit down? I'm like, no, I can't. I gotta do this. I gotta do this.
Is that when he gives you a bone?
Yeah, something like that. So that's a big one for me. On top of all the ones you named, all the good ones, I think. And, so.
Do you have anything to add, Pim?
You're like you leaving me for last, so there won't be anything. Guess what? I have one.
See?
I get really terrible taste on my tongue, and I can't get rid of it. I can brush my tongue. I have like this jar with coconut oil with peppermint oil in, and I just do like oil pulling several times per day to try and get rid of that. It's just something, and it's not. I don't even think that I have like a super bad keto breath, but it's just a taste in my mouth. It's really annoying.
Yeah, I've heard that before too.
I thought you were going to talk about your gas again.
I don't get gas from ketosis, I don't think.
Mama Cracker, so don't pee. I think she's talking about the pee sticks.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you can use them at first, but if you're going to make really honing in on maximum ketosis and for I'm going to say for healing benefits, like long term, I'm a fan of Keto Moj, just because I look at the GKI too. Like I really get into trying to figure out like how I can hone in on that. And of course you can look at your blood sugar that way. And I used to be insulin resistant, and now my fasting glucose is good. I mean, I have to be up for a while to get past the dawn phenomenon, but if I eat carbs, if I get out of ketosis, 2 days, I'll go back and get fasting blood work and it's back over 100 again. So I know it's working, but I like the fact that the Keto Mojo can check all that. And it's really accurate, where when you look at the pea sticks, right? Sometimes you're up in the sunlight going, does that look like it's brown to you or just tan? And this is a no-brainer. Can you be the exact number? So.
Oh man. I like
fun all the time. It's great fun.
The theatrics. I love it. Okay. What's up, Uncle Big Guy? You're not late. We're just all early. Thanks for being here.
Sorry, is there something going on between the two of you? Because that's not how you treat everyone else.
Pim, you've been nice to me today, so I've been nice to you back. You haven't said a dickish thing to me yet this stream.
I haven't?
No. Are you thinking of something to say now?
I guess I was so thrown up by all the shit music in the beginning.
Bah humbug, Scrooge. Grinch.
So you're the abuser now.
Well, Renee agrees with you, Pim. You don't tell me that. Renee, I applauded when you came in. Like, I'll do it again. Renee? You got the
Mhm.
applause. I mean, what else do you want from my life?
All of it.
Well, we have been at this for a little over an hour. I know we kind of started with the protein, fat, and I think that kind of led nicely into the carb, which I always find a fascinated topic to get people's perspective on carbs, because I think there's a lot in the space that demonize a carb and kind of scare people from reintroducing them or thinking about it. So I think it's healthy to have open conversations like this to kind of get different perspectives.
You sound like a psychologist now.
I take that as a thank you, Pim.
You're welcome.
So do you have, first off, before we go around the horn to kind of close it out, are there any other questions from the chat on anything we talked about or anything that you're thinking about as we wrap up? Please do drop them in the chat, and I promise we will get to them. So Pim, what would you like to leave us with today? Pim, ma'am.
Pim, ma'am. I'd like to add something to the fat protein discussion, because I don't think, like we were just talking about, like something that Jamie said and that I pretty much done with everyone who was doing the intuitive keto with me, is like, if you're not losing weight, like switch it up. I've had some people that came in being on a high protein diet. I put them on a high fat diet. I've had some people coming in being on a high fat diet. If we're talking GKI, perfect, lots of ketones, still not losing weight. I put them on more protein. Like, do something that is different, switch things up. Don't eat the same amount of calories every day, the same types of foods every day. Just like go high, go low, go all over the place. It doesn't mean that you're going to eat less food overall in a week, but it means that you're not eating the same every day, because your body gets used to it really, really quickly. So if you're stuck with anything, just switch it up, see what happens. Shock your body a little bit, make it guess all the time what you're going to do, so it has to adjust. That way you will get really good at, like, you will start boosting your metabolism, hopefully. And yeah, that's, I just wanted to add that.
And you're free to add whatever you want, Pim, ma'am.
Except that you think I'm talking too much, ma'am.
I mean, ma'am, you did ask quite
Mom.
a Jamie, what do you got?
I just want to second what she just said. I think that the variation is really a big deal. And, I used to think that people who, almost like the sicker they were, the quicker their body figured them out, but that's not the case. It's the more you've already tried, the quicker your body figures you out. So if I get somebody who comes in and, they've never dieted, never tried ketosis, don't even know what a macro is, man, I can put them on keto and the same eating windows, and they'll go weeks and weeks before they stop. And I'm like ready to pounce and change things up, but I don't want to do it because it's working, right? Where you get somebody who, and most of the time they do want to lose a lot of weight. They've tried everything. So naturally, a lot of them are heavy, but you get people who have tried all the things. And I mean, sometimes you can't go more than 2 days on the same schedule before their body's like, I figured you out. So you've got to really constantly vary that up a lot. So just kind of seconding what Pim said there.
I'm going to add something different than what Pim said.
Because you don't love me anymore.
So, just to be dickish. So the only thing I will say is, and I know I've said this before, but it just drives me crazy. If you are in a stall and you are struggling or feeling some sort of way, I know a lot of people just give the canned advice of drink your electrolytes and up your fat. All I will say to that is that's not always the answer. There is a such thing as too much fat. I was just saying, for an entire day. It was an accident. Literally.
You're like, the butter just slid down. I wasn't an accident.
So all I will say is, there is a such thing as consuming too much fat. There is a such thing as consuming too much of anything, even electrolytes. So if you are feeling a certain way, just look at your symptoms and either get advice from a healthcare professional before doing something, because you don't want to end up sick and in the hospital. Like I had an electrolyte balance issue many, many, many years ago where I was too low and I was in the emergency room. Like no joke, it was bad. So like you don't want to overdo something or underdo something. So just be careful with the canned advice that you get, even with the three of us. Like just take what people say on YouTube, no matter what the credentials are, and just do your own research and do your own experiment. So just be careful with the canned advice that you hear online, because that is pretty much the advice everyone gives, is up your fat and take your electrolytes. And that's one of my pet peeves as an advice, because they say that for every single symptom you have. And that can set you up for trouble down the line. So that's all I want to say, is just do your own research, take what you hear on YouTube, and don't take and run with everything you hear on YouTube. Just do your research, talk to your healthcare providers before making a decision, to make an informed decision. So that's what I want to leave everyone with.
Good point. And the truth is, not only have we seen probably thousands of clients, easy, singularly or between all of us, most of us, we've experimented on ourselves. So we can also just kind of cut through all the stuff that people are reading and researching and the mistakes they've made, and we know what's good for you, or how to go about finding out what's good for you. So I think that's a good point. I do want to say that I noticed you missed Susie's comment about adding the MCT oil along with the bacon fat and the creatine.
Wait, I did. Hold on. What time?
Just to your experiment where we're going to cause you to flush.
Oh, what time was that at, so I can put it on the screen? So
it was a long time ago. It's when we were talking about you having too much fat and running to the bathroom, and so I said we're adding creatine to that. So
go ahead. I'll look for it.
Yeah, I just think you need to do that.
8:41.
People do
that's my time.
flushes, or people do vitamin C flushes. I think you need to do a fat and creatine flush, and you need to YouTube post about it. Like, be like, okay, it's 8:01 a.m. I'm going to chug some creatine, some MCT oil, and some bacon fat.
Yeah.
And then be back online at 15 minutes after and 30 minutes after.
This is the new keto detox.
That and the oxalate dumping. Like someone will come with the symptom, oh, you're just oxalate dumping. I was like, the oxalate dumping symptoms are symptoms of 10 other things. Like it's just, everyone just gives these canned things, and I just can't stand it. Like you're oxalate dumping, increase your fat, take electrolytes and all that. And I'm just like, no, just don't do that. don't do that.
Yep.
Okay. So Pim, what is, shout out your channel, how people can find you, and what do you have coming up next on your YouTube channel?
I'm still like So my YouTube channel is in my name, or Pim Johnson at Life Without Cravings, I think.
Are you questioning what you do? Don't you don't know?
Yeah, kind of. I think when you put the at blah blah blah, I think it says that. But whatever, just go to my name. You see it on the screen. It's really easy.
Holy moly!
I said I'm having some new stuff coming up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a lot more short form content, just very short, like YouTube shorts. I don't know if you guys like that sort of shit or not. I don't care. This is what I'm gonna be doing. I'm still gonna put some videos out, but I have been experimenting with a few things and I didn't like them, so I'm set back like a month in my project. So in January rather than in December, something is happening. So you have to subscribe to have a look and see what happens, because I'm not going to give you any more than that right now.
All right. Well, thanks, Pim. That was very informative.
Yeah, I know. That's why you have to subscribe.
So Jamie doesn't have a YouTube channel, although I'm trying to talk her into it. Jamie and I are practically neighbors and we still haven't met in person. It's still very sad. But where can people find you, and what do you have going on?
Way too much, which is why I have not gotten a channel yet. But they can find me at Functional Wellness Collective on Instagram and Facebook. I do have programs and memberships and all that kind of good stuff going on. I do have some stuff on the back end. We've been launching challenges monthly in my membership and different fun stuff like that. But no YouTube channel yet, but I will get there eventually. But in the meantime, you can find me at those other places. I'd love if you guys follow me there.
And if you really want to subscribe to Jamie on YouTube, you can subscribe to me instead.
That's
Damn.
That's
Damn,
true.
that was good, wasn't it?
That was all right.
Yep.
I don't know how to follow
Well, I'm
that.
gonna have 15 unsubscribes after this.
I think instead of subscribing to Pim, you can subscribe to me, and we.
Hey,
So
and then we follow each other on Instagram and Facebook, so we're good there.
yeah.
You guys will find me somehow. By following them, you'll get to me.
Or by unfollowing
There you go.
Pim, you'll get to me.
And then you'll get to me. Yeah.
That's how it works, isn't it?
So I reached out to Dr. Mindy Pals. I highly doubt she will email me back. I emailed her yesterday to see if she would come on my channel. So
You do.
So
Okay.
stay tuned. See if she'll respond. But I might slide into her DMs on Instagram too. But yeah, well, I'll try to get her on my channel. We'll see if I can get her to respond to me. But I'm at former fat girl, and I think what I have planned in the new year is talking more about emotional eating, sharing experiences, maybe doing interviews with other folks with addictions and things like that, and doing more of that type of content as well. I'm gonna keep doing the reactions just because they're fun. But yeah, I do plan to incorporate more of the informative emotional eating type stuff, and I might continue with some vlogs because they're not popular, people may not like them, but they're fun for me, and I enjoy doing them. I like messing around, and it allows me to be a little bit more creative. So yeah, so I do plan to do some more I guess informative type videos, talking head type stuff. So be sure to
you help people get through the what? Mind. Come on now.
I work I work
Work through the mind. Come on, we can do this.
so I have a 4-pronged approach, and they all work holistically. So it's mindset, emotion, nutrition, and movement.
You're not hearing it. You help people get through the mind fuck of eating.
Dang it. Dang
How many
it.
times could I prompt you and you were not getting there?
I was not getting there.
You weren't. I felt like I needed to drive to your house and help you.
I mean, you could get here in 15 minutes.
Hey, some people appreciate being blunt. So when people come to you with disordered eating, you're like, it's mind fuck. Let me help you.
Damn it. Mind fuck.
That needs to be like your subtitle under your business name on your website.
Dark Horse Nutrition. I help you unfuck yourself.
Yeah, let's clear the mind fuck. Yeah.
So Jim says not subscribing to Pam Johnson on YouTube leads to blood sugar problems.
If I didn't like you, Jim, you would be banned from my channel.
What's up, Susan? Oh, Bruce. What's up, Bruce? Bruce is still here. We had a man and we had a couple men stick to the end.
You did.
Mm,
Arwen, I'm a pimp. All right.
good for you.
All right, I think we'll end on this comment here. Not hitting the like button is a leading cause of weight loss plateaus.
Yep.
Here, Jim. So please do hit the like button and please drop a sub so we can all start losing weight again. So
Do I lose weight if I get more likes on my channel?
no, I think we all lose weight. Well, Jamie loses her
Okay.
menopause baby.
Only if they come follow me on my social media.
I think if they like any one of our videos, I think we all benefit. I think it'll benefit all of us. But I think if they like all of our videos and all of our channels and socials, I think we benefit as well as everyone in the chat. So it goes further. You know what I mean?
So it's like a pyramid scheme for weight loss?
Yeah, it's a multi-level marketing. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Mindset is 90% of the problem, right? So if we convince them that if they like us and follow us, they will lose weight. They actually will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
if
like
we
it.
have like soothing music playing in the background while we talk about this,
Soothing.
yeah.
Anything Christmas is absolutely not soothing, and it will make me put 10 pounds on.
Um,
And if you play it, you absolutely have shown everyone here how much you hate me because you want me to be fat. You want me to be fat. Can't believe it.
no singing.
Good.
All right,
I love
on
you,
that note-
Susie. Susie is my favorite.
You guys make
Female,
my
yeah.
jaw hurt. I smile so much.
All right, friends.
Shall we have like next time we get together? Shall we have like a pillow fight?
A pillow
'Cause that's
fight?
kind of the level we're at, I think.
I think we'll get more men in the chat.
It doesn't have to be like.
I'm
half
not
naked.
coming back until she does her flush and records it.
Wait,
You.
like that? Or I have
No,
something
wait.
else for you, Jamie. This is not how I wanted to end the stream, but no, not that one. Okay.
So not mature.
So the three of us will be back again sometime next month if Jamie decides to come back because we're a little wacky. But thank you all for hanging with us. I will be live again tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Dustin from Keto Simple. We're going to talk about his overcoming food addiction and emotional eating. So if you are around, please join us tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Other than that, thank you all for hanging with us this afternoon. Happy holidays, safe travels if you are traveling, and we hope to see you after the new year. Be safe, everyone.